Welcome back to the 15th episode of the Head versus Heart podcast. I'm the head because I look at rugby league betting and Supercoach from an analytical perspective, and I'm joined by the heart, who looks at both of those from an emotional perspective. First of all, let's jump into accountability from last round. How did you go over the weekend?
Yeah, so I had one from five. I am down $15. How about yourself?
Yeah, I went two from five, so not much better in that one. And then obviously a big loss for myself, $240.50 down. My total loss for the week was 277.50, so even more. Yeah, had some bets that were tough that went down, but let's go through each game one by one.
Yep, so first game of the round was the Dolphins v. the Storm, 24-30, in the middle of a nail biter, actually. Love to watch the footy. I don't know how the Storm held on in the end, but they did. Personally, I actually had the Storm to win head to head, but I didn't listen to myself and I got greedy and put on Storm 13 plus. That has bitten me in the bum, unfortunately, as the Storm did win, but they did not win big enough. How about yourself?
Yeah, I had the Dolphins plus 6.5, and as you said, it was a tight game and a tight game for the line as well. That one just got up. So yeah, pretty happy with that line there. But yeah, like obviously the Dolphins had Bostock go down in the game, and they had to reshuffle and didn't really have the depth on the bench to cover that. So pretty good effort from the Dolphins in this one. The
Yeah,
next game.
definitely.
Yeah. The next game of the round, I definitely didn't see this coming. Did you see
I
this?
didn't see this coming. I feel like I personally need to apologize to every Warriors fan out there for cursing you.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I basically said five double barrel players would score that game. Unfortunately, only one of them did for the Wars, and the other one on the Titans did, of course, scoring a hat trick in the end. I think hell may have opened given this scoreline, but did not expect that. But 666, ouch.
Yeah, 66-6 to the Titans. Campera actually got four. So
Oh, apologies.
like five of the you had five try
Yeah,
scorers.
five double barrel try scorers. Yeah.
But
You know,
they're
did
not
did you watch this game though? It was so funny to hear the crowd absolutely silent at a Titans game because the Titans were winning. Like there were more Warriors fans in attendance than Titans fans.
yeah. Everyone was saying that before the game and during the game as well. Pretty
Yeah.
crazy stuff. But I guess if you want to like look at why this scoreline happened, SJ obviously uh like not present. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks as well, which we can talk to as well. But yeah, I mean, obviously this is pretty much the Titans at their best, playing at their best, and the Warriors playing at their worst. Obviously, it's a pretty crazy scoreline, but you can't read into it as much as the scoreline represents. But the Titans look really good. Kinney firing, Campbell firing, so and players like Foran had a cracking game as well. So Titans looks good pretty much across the park, and Warriors look bad pretty much across the park.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So we both had a loss in that one. The next game of the round was the Roosters versus the Bulldogs. The Roosters ended up winning 26-8. What did you have in that game?
I had the exact same bet as you. I basically didn't really have enough time to look into this game, so I just trusted you on this one, and you let me down.
Yeah, pretty tough in this one. If the Bulldogs kicked any of their goals, we would have won the bet. Yeah, like four tries to two. Oh, sorry, no, we wouldn't have because of the penalty. Um, but yeah, like four tries to two, 26-8. Like
We
they,
just
they got
needed
that
one more try. It's so frustrating to see.
yeah, and like they didn't goal kick as well. Like if they got
Yeah.
that Blake Steep try at the end was a
Mm.
late one and just frustrating game, especially considering we got a good line early. It dropped to 7.5 late, so very frustrating to get this one. I had more money on this than some of the other games, so pretty frustrating game. But I mean the Roosters are a good team. They have the ability to kick on
Yeah,
game.
definitely.
I think the Bulldogs will be fired up now to
Yeah, I
get back
definitely
to
agree
the
with that.
defensive strength.
Yeah, so the following game was the Rabbitohs v the Sea Eagles, 14-0. This game was just not good to watch. So let's talk about this as briefly as possible.
Yeah.
Personally, I had the Rabbits 13 plus with, and I don't know how they win by 13 plus, but Johnston doesn't score. Somehow that doesn't happen occur, and I lose my bet.
Yeah, well, winning 13 plus, you probably wouldn't expect the score to be 14-0. I think that's almost never happens when you're winning 13 plus. But
Yeah,
yeah, I had the Rabbits -4.5 in that one. Did get up, but it's like you're looking at a Seagulls team that had no one. So
yeah.
happy
You
to bet for
expected
that.
better, but with this game, the weather was just so bad that
Yeah,
nothing could really come of it. It was
yeah,
always going to be a bad game, especially when you realize that they're debuting like three players at once.
yeah, yeah. And Carl Lawson in the halves. And actually, he didn't even really play in the halves. Like they had Tommy Talau in the middle. It's just such a weird
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
And
super weird. Speaking of weird games, final one of the round, West Tigers 48, 24 Raiders. That is a combined 72 points. And at one
not
point, I genuinely, what?
sorry,
So
I was gonna say not a weird game. Makes perfect sense to me, mate.
at one point, I genuinely thought at the 70th minute, the Raiders were going to win. But the way they were playing so late, they scored three tries in that period where they had the binning, and somehow the Tigers just hold on enough. It was a super weird game to watch.
Yeah, a weird one considering they've won by 24 and you're saying that the Tigers held on enough.
Exactly. Am I not wrong?
Yeah, no, I like understand what you're saying. The Tigers sort of team that seemed like they could always find a way to lose a game. I didn't really think they were going to lose this one, but yeah, like they didn't. They looked really good for most of the game, but they had patches where
Yeah.
they didn't look amazing.
Keep in mind, if Adam Dewey didn't make that intercept pass, the score would have been 30-42 with 7 minutes to go. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
such a fried position to be in.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I had the Raiders in this game. Obviously didn't get up. I thought the Raiders would be more motivated than they are, but the Tigers looked really good. Dewey, as a late in, looked really good. And yeah, just everyone seemed to fire. Like Galvin had been quiet previous weeks, I think, because he had that niggly injury and then he had some time off, and he's sort of come good. So I think all of those combinations of factors worked really well in the Tigers' favor, and then the Raiders, I just couldn't match them in this one. What did you have as a bet? Sorry.
Yeah, so I had Raiders 13 plus and Huddy Young to score. Um, as you can tell, didn't occur.
Yeah. So a bit of a tough week for both of us in that space. And then I guess that sort of reflects some of the trades players we were looking at as well, because we obviously didn't expect some of the score lines that did occur. But we can get into Supercoach in just a second. Firstly, let's touch on the side bets. So obviously we had Melbourne versus Dolphins head to head, and you
Easy
won
win, easy victory.
that one. And then there was the one with all the the double barrel last names,
I
which
mean, five double barrels did score, so are we counting that?
that's true. No, I would say no because you had individual double barrels, but um, and then the last one, Kepi. You need to stop getting on Kepi
No,
anytime.
okay, side bet right here, right now. He scores this week. Surely.
I'll take it every single week forever because he's never going
He's
to
going to
score.
score because he is starting, right?
I don't even know. That's how irrelevant he is.
Bro, he's going to
But
score
he's
and
have
he's
the
going to
buy. The
embarrass.
have the buy.
Oh, yeah, he does have the bias. So do you want to take that side bet?
So I'll take it then.
No, I'll
Definitely
find
take it.
another. I'll find another even more irrelevant player to score. Don't worry.
Yeah. Perfect. But so 2-1 on the side bets to myself in this new round of side bets. Need to figure out what your forfeit is going to be. We'll work on that. Maybe we'll get something filmed for Origin. We're filming this on the Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll film something tomorrow when we meet up to watch Origin. But
It better not be giving you a big sloppy kiss
yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll get the boys to decide something.
with tongue.
Um, sorry.
With tongue.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. Big kiss.
Big
Um,
sloppy kiss.
Supercoach ranks firstly. It's before we jump into bets, start talking Origin. For myself, I've moved into 12,799th, up around 4.5K. I had a good
Pushing.
round, 1,100 total. Bit frustrating because I did was tossing up plays like a Jaden Campbell versus Pappenhausen. It's like a 130 point swing. Jaden Campbell is out now for a few
Yeah, keep
weeks,
that in
so
mind. Yeah.
not the worst thing, and Pappenhausen probably does well this round. So not the worst thing in the world, but could have been a really, really good score instead of just a good score there. What about yourself?
Yeah, so I'll keep this as brief as possible. I am now 43,664, down 7,000 positions, 585 total. I would have gone far worse if I didn't somehow accidentally captain Terrell May and not realize it. He top
That's
scored for me. I don't know how it happened, but he's captain.
when you were saying last week, like, oh, I'm not gonna make trades. Like I like my team. I thought you meant, oh yeah, I have enough numbers for this round.
No,
It's
no. As it turns out, I actually had like 8 players, so I had to trade in three anyway. One of them being Pappenhausen, and I think someone else got like 15 points, which really didn't help.
yeah, nice. Yeah, just an awful week from you, mate. Hopefully,
Just using my head, mate. Just
big,
all head noise.
yeah.
Yeah.
The head noise is what this fucking podcast should be called.
Uh,
uh,
I actually rate that very harshly, very strongly.
yeah. Um, we'll jump into bets of the week. First bet we want to touch on is, of course, the biggest bet of the round, biggest bet of the week every week is the head and heart bet of the week. What did we have
Got up
last
once.
before
Yeah.
we? Oh yeah, that was nowhere near Raiders and AFB neither leg.
Yeah, no, that was not happening anyway.
Um, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's obviously state of origin. We're good, proud New South Welshmen, even though I was getting a lot of shit in the group chat about that because I thought Suoli was rightfully sent, sadly. Yeah, so we're going New South Wales head to head, Lomax anytime try scorer. I believe that is 360. We'll confirm that down here somewhere. But
Yeah,
yeah, get on that. Soon, eventually, if enough of you get on it, we'll get a sports bet promo. So please do so.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so good money there. So regarding your bet of the round, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so for myself for the NRL this round, I'm looking at the Roosters 1 to 24 versus the Tigers. Tigers team that's been showing up the last couple of rounds. I think they'll be up for this game, but I think the Roosters will get the win in the end. So I like the 1 to 24, especially when the line's pretty long at the 13 and a half. And you're looking at Tigers team that are off 2 wins, so I don't love taking their line because the public perception is going to be probably higher on them. But so I like a sort of something in the middle of Roosters 1 to 24 in this one.
I,
What about
I
yourself?
respect that. I'm not really sure. I think the Roosters could run away in their game. My best bet, though, I'm a proud Novocastrian. Knights. Sharp's going to score an absolute another one. He's not scored yet. Like he
He's
hasn't not
scoring every
scored
game.
during the game. He's
Yeah,
scored every game. And then I've also got Price to score and debut at 14.75. Tell you
yeah,
what, easy money.
easy
Stick it
money.
on.
I'm looking at our run sheet here, and we'll jump into trades for the round. But looking at the run sheet here, I've got Armstrong to Sharp as my trade. I'm just thinking, surely, well, you can get into your trades in a second, but surely Price he doesn't feature in your trades for this round. That would be a very hard move. Jump on Price straight away.
Look, I think you've convinced me, to be honest. I'll consider it. I'm not entirely 100% sure. He could find a spot in my team. I don't know, especially if he's center wing dual coded, which is he?
Actually, I have no idea what
If he
position.
is, I'm quite literally about to gobble this up. Look, I'm in my gobbling era of Supercoach. I've given up. I can't really do that well anymore, so I'm going to start gobbling and gobbling hard. And if that means bringing Will Price in
Yeah,
first round, I'm willing to do so. Is he
yeah,
dual
he's
position?
center wing fullback. Yeah,
He's playing six. What the fuck are they on? What are they
they have him.
smoking?
I think I don't know why he's center wing fullback, but you can get him at center wing at the bare minimum. So
Fuck yeah, I might do that. That's easy money right there. I'm already guaranteed bringing in Sharp for Fuller, and I may or may not follow in what you just said and bring in Will Pricey.
yeah, we'll pass 345K, so not the worst price, obviously.
Yeah, bloody
If you're
Super
being
League points. That's such a stupid rule. It should just be the same as Cup. Just have them at 200K.
yeah. But if you're being sort of more head about it, more logical about the decision, probably wait a couple of weeks on price just to make sure he
Yeah,
has
actually,
the
like
starting spot locked in. Yeah.
yeah, there's no guarantee with this team, to be honest. We thought the same thing about Armstrong, yet Armstrong's been dropped.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Had
Uh,
one bad game, but he was always the third string fullback, which is ridiculous.
yeah. We'll talk best trades generally quickly. Obviously, we're both going sharp. I'll let you take it away why you like sharp in particular, and I'll jump in why I'm sort of making this play
Yeah,
after.
look, Sharp is a lock until about round 20 or so when Ponga comes back. He'll continue to play for that. Knights have only just one bye. Newcastle traditionally, for the last couple of years, have had their attack mainly through their fullback. That continues even when Pong is not there. Newcastle had a couple down weeks. I think they're going to bounce back. They've got a relatively easy draw as well, and Sharp looks the goods.
Yeah. Everything you've said is bang on. On top of everything you mentioned, you said they have the one bye. So Pong is probably expected back round 22. They have the one
Oh, even
bye
further than I thought it was. Yeah,
yeah, round 22 around then. It could be round. So we have the one bye we have is round 21, and that's not a major bye. So he'll play all the major byes. He'll play 19, he'll play 20, or because 20 is a seven
game.
a
Yeah, like
game
this week.
round. Yeah. So he'll play 19 and 20, and obviously this round as well. And only misses 21. And then I think probably you can trade him out. Probably the easiest thing to do is just go straight from him to Ponga when Ponga comes back. You could probably maybe even wait to round 23 because we've got the Panthers in round 22.
Yeah,
But it's a pretty easy like trade. You don't have to think too much because it's just pretty easy just to jump straight back to Ponga when
you'd
Ponga
almost have,
comes back in.
you could almost even captain him. Really, I'd be that keen on him.
I think this week I might be vice captaining him just because the options that I have don't really let me captain too many other people, and I'll probably captain Jerome Hughes or someone like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably going to vice captain him this week against Neil's team that is running last. Um, but yeah, like you summed it up perfectly with Sharp. The upside is there with the as a Knights fullback, and a lot of the attack comes through the fullback there. And yeah, he's going to be playing every round until Ponga gets back. He's going to make a lot more money than like a Leahy Hopewadi as well. Like Hopewadi, like Tommy T is almost definitely confirmed to be back next round. So
Yeah, it's a bit too late to get on the Hopawate train.
yeah, but like even we were disliking Hopewadi a couple of weeks earlier. People might be saying like, why do you dislike Hopewadi but like Sharp? It's not just Newcastle bias. Like Sharp will actually make more money over a long period.
Yeah.
In terms of other players, I think we should keep it like we'll touch on players more once we get into the game. But yeah, like Sharp obviously the standout for the two of us.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you the truth. I'm in my gobbling era in Supercoach. I am about one bat a week away from captaining Tommy Hazelton. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, nice. It is the sort of time of year when you need to go a little bit potty, but obviously there is a fair few people jumping on Sharp as well. But um, I think it's the type of year to make sorry, time of year to make more goal plays.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
let's jump into the games of the round though. The first game of the round isn't a game in the round, but the Blues versus the Maroons State of Origin in Melbourne.
Yeah. I think the Blues win this, but I've got this like feeling in my stomach we're just gonna end up losing the series 3-0 to be as negative as possible. Saying that though, I am undoubtedly a biased Blues fan, and I'm just going to put money on Blues 13 plus with Mitchell and Lomax to score.
Yeah. A lot of people, like, obviously, you can make the case that we're obviously both Blues fans, so there's going to be bias um, within that. But a lot of people will generally bet on Queensland because they think, Queensland like get Origin or whatever.
Yeah, Melbourne may as well be part of Queensland kind of thing.
Yeah, and but bookies understand that Queensland win like a lot of games, and they factor this into their odds. It's not something that they're missing out on. They understand this factor. They understand people want to bet on Queensland, so they factor that into their odds. New South Wales have lost like I think one game of the last I don't know 5 or 6 in Melbourne. Um, they we have all of the motivation edge. Like you would think Queensland feel pretty confident they go to Queensland and win game 3. So all of the we basically need to win this game. Sorry, we need to win this game to keep the series alive. And then I feel like Queensland would feel like they don't really need to win this game.
Yeah,
Uh,
other than last year, how many dead rubbers have there been in the past couple of years? Like since the Queensland Greats retired?
yeah, like
I can only think of
I don't
last
know,
year.
I don't know, yeah, I don't know how many dead rubbers, but there's basically never three O's at least.
Yeah,
So yeah, like generally not that many dead rubbers, and then definitely not that many 3-0 sweeps. So yeah, I like New South Wales a lot in this one. Obviously, we can speak to the ins as well. I'm a massive Dylan Edwards fan. I think we get through a lot of work fullback. Latrell's been absolutely killing it at the moment. I like the makeup of their bench. I hate the makeup one. I hate, but I think the makeup of the Queensland bench is far worse. I think they made a mistake not bringing David Feeder in. So I could speak to 1,000 different things that I like, but basically New South Wales head to head is my best bet in this one.
agreed. Strong agree.
Um, the first game of the round is the Bulldogs versus the Sharks. So that's the Friday night, is that correct?
Yep, that is Friday at 8 o'clock in the lovely Allianz, Accor Stadium as it's now known.
Yep.
Um, can I say like how dumb it is that there is an Allianz Stadium now in Sydney that isn't actually the same Allianz that it was 5 years ago?
Is that
Isn't that so? It used to be Olympic Park. That was Allianz. Then they knocked down the Sydney Football Stadium, and that became Allianz.
crazy, eh?
Yeah. And there's also one in Germany.
Hmm.
They should be
Should
limited to like
believe.
naming like one stadium per the world, mate. Like think
Hmm.
about how confusing it would be if there was a McDonald Jones Stadium somewhere in like I don't know Burma.
It wouldn't be that confusing because no one would fucking visit both stadiums.
I mean, what happens when the Jets end up playing in the Asian Champions League against the Burmese Pythons or something?
True, true, true. That'll
You have to
happen
be
very
home and
soon.
away McDonald Jones Stadium, mate. You never know.
Yeah, nice. Anyway, let's talk about the Bulldogs versus the Sharks. If you remember Origin 1, that was the game off 2 days turnaround that Lomax had an absolute blinder. That Dragons team came out and absolutely
Yeah,
killed it.
he had a bit
So
of a goblin.
yeah, I think often these teams that come off that 2 day turnaround, like that have played Origin and come off that 2 day turnaround, end up doing really well. It's less relevant for the players in this game, but one to watch out for is Stephen Crichton. So if he does end up playing, he probably there's a good chance he does have a big one in
Yeah,
this. I think that might be a little bit, a little bit Magoo to 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 think that, but I think he does have a big game if he does end up playing. In terms of Supercoach relevancy, though, the second highest traded in play this round is Britt Nikora. Is he someone that you're looking at?
yeah, I don't mind him. I think traditionally the Sharks second rowers have both had their ups and downs. I just don't know if Nikora is currently in a down period or an up period. To be brutally honest, I think the Sharks are they're underperforming at the moment, and they're continuing to slide a bit. But how long will they slide for? And at what point do you pick up Nikora? I don't know.
I'm a Nikora owner, luckily, got 120 last round out. I think if you want to jump on, it's now is the perfect time to jump on. Sharks fixtures start to open up a lot after this round. Um, but yeah, like you can definitely jump on next round. I think they have Titans, Tigers in the next two. I've already spoken to the fact that I'm looking at Nico Hines next round. But yeah, Nikora for this round, very happy for people to jump on. Don't expect this one to be absolutely massive because the Bulldogs have one of the best defenses in the NRL at the moment.
Yeah, it's such a
But
strange thing to say, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, but Nikora, definitely not a bad shout. The next player down is Ronaldo Mulatalo, 492K. Would you be thinking about him maybe
Yeah,
instead of Price?
I've been a holder since he was 700 to 850K. I can't recall his total price,
Yeah,
but like they say, you don't sell guns. He's been on a slide, but I think he's ready to come back, and I'm ready to see him explode. Like you said, the
yeah,
Sharks, I'm still not sold on them being a good team again, but if the Sharks do well, he'll do well. So if you think the Sharks are going to win the next 4 or 5 games, I think Ronaldo's a lock.
yeah. Like I think the Sharks will be able to put on points pretty easy, and I think Ronaldo's another solid trade in. Let me just double check his break even to see it. Look, he's 73 break even, so he's not a must have for this round. But probably personally, I'll be looking quite
Yeah,
quite a lot next round at him as well,
yeah, definitely agree with that strongly.
depending on how he scores. Um, the next highest traded in player for the Sharks is Nico Hines. He's got about a 200 break even. I think maybe 212 break even.
Jesus, fuck.
You still hold Nico or?
Yeah, I've still got Nico. Yeah, I don't really have enough trades to get him out of the team at this stage, and I'm happy to keep him there until the end of the year. So it doesn't really stress me out too much.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be trading him out at this point in time. But in terms of trading him in, so this round he has the Bulldogs. Then I think he has Titans, Tigers, something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, I am personally targeting him for next round. What do you think the best way to sort of target him is? Think about, let's say he has another poor score this round. Would you be pushing it even further, or would you just want to jump on Nico Hines next week?
Oh, what's he currently priced at now? Is it 800?
870 at the moment, so
870? Yeah.
you would
Yeah,
think
look,
you
the
would
way
think
I see
it's
it,
another 100K probably, but
yeah, if he has a bad week this week, I think if 212, I'd rather wait till next week. If he doesn't do well, keep on waiting. If not, just wait until he gets about say 650, and you've got one of the cheapest players who could potentially score 200 for you.
yeah,
Like I think if just wait until there's a good performance and pick him up. I think it'd be the easiest way to do it.
yeah. Look, for mine, I'm pretty set on picking him up next week. Yeah, like I don't really see the appeal this week against that
Yeah,
Bulldog team, but yeah, very happy to jump on next week against Tigers, Titans, run, and good
fair
run
enough.
after that. Other players in here, uh, like obviously going to be solid trade-ins. You got your Jacob Carrazes, Viliami Kikau
Yeah, Hazelton's.
players, but the one other one that's sort of up there is Jarrell Skelton.
Yeah.
Would you have any interest in Skelton at all? Obviously, he had his first game of the weekend,
How
looked good.
many games has he played previously?
That was his first game of the season.
Yeah, so what's yeah again like with the play like that, he looked all right. Just obviously wait a bit, wait another game, and
Yep.
then determine if you want to buy him for that price.
Yep. Yep. Agree completely. Uh,
How long is Adokar out at for as well? Do we know that yet?
I can find it out, but he'll be back before the end of the
It's
season at least. So Skelton, I don't love as a trade,
yeah,
considering probably won't have that job security there. Um, yeah. So really, it's Nico and Ronaldo this round only for me that I like. Don't like lines for this round.
yeah, fair enough. So let's get into betting for this round then.
Yep.
Do you have anything on at all this game?
Yeah, I got the Sharks line. Haven't had a chance to look into the odds for these games this round, but I'll have it above my head right now. The best line and odds for that one, I think, hopefully should be able to get 3.5, maybe 4.5. But this Sharks team will be fully fit, rested off a bye. The Dogs team obviously played last week, and I'm a big fan of Connor Tracy at fullback, not playing fullback in this one. And yeah, like hopefully Crichton doesn't play. Crichton could have a massive one if he does end up playing, but hopefully he's out for the Sharks line. So this one probably maybe just give it a little bit of time, wait and see. But yeah, probably pretty keen on the Sharks here off the rest. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm. Do you want to take a side bet on this one? Because I think the Dogs just straight up win head to head.
Yeah,
So head to head,
sure. Happy to. Sharks versus
easy,
Bulldogs.
easy, easy, easy. All right, following into that, the next game of the round is the Wars v Broncos in Auckland. The Warriors just got pumped 66-6, and the Broncos have no guarantee that their Origin stars are going to be back. So it could be a pretty tight game.
Yeah, another one of those ones where, like, obviously the Origin players being in would affect how the line moves around a lot, and then how some of these Supercoach players perform a lot. Obviously, some of these Warriors players are going to be less favored. Is there anyone you'd be trading out? Anyone you would be trading in either of these teams, particularly?
Yeah, look, not really. To be honest, I don't really see anyone too enticing for either team. Some of these Broncos players that we don't really see too much, such as Tristan Sally, we know we're not going to see any more of unless something really bad happens. CNK, I think, might have maybe he's peaked in value as well, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. No one really sticks out to me. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, CNK had a 36 on the weekend. So maybe one you can watch, and if you need a fullback there, you can look at him in a couple of weeks when his price starts to drop a bit more. Um, Obviously, the number one traded out player for this game is Sean Johnson. Yeah,
Rest in
probably
peace,
one you
Sean Johnson.
yeah, probably one you have to jump off. It's unfortunate that he's not come and got back into things, but I'm happy that I jumped off him a long time ago. Uh, yeah, but like you said, no real standout trade-ins. There's players that we're going to be looking at soon, like Payne Haas. Obviously, it is one that a lot of people will want to jump on, but
But just
that's
wait
just
till Origin 3. Just wait till after that.
yeah, yeah, I agree. And obviously he's not even named as of yet. Might be named later on in the week, but yeah, not at the moment named. Outside of that, like there's a Jack Jajewski at bottom dollar named to start. Would you have any interest in it at all in Jack Jajewski?
Yeah, look, same problem with Joe Getzi is that he's been named to start, but these players could come in. He could be pushed. There's no real guarantee he plays, let alone starts. So there's no guarantee he yet plays at the bench, let alone bench up. Never mind what I'm saying. Yeah, look, to me, he seems like a good option, but I think once what's going to happen after Origin 3 occurs, we probably won't see much of him, and if we do, he'll have very limited minutes.
I mean, the thing with Jack Jajewski is that if Ricky comes back in and he's pushed out of the team entirely, that's actually a really good situation. You can have him um, sitting there. Like you can bank points like this week if you're really short on numbers. You can bank money as well, obviously, because he's bottom dollar, he's 200K. And then you can like he can just not he won't be an AE because he's not being named. So that would be ideal, but you don't know that that's going to happen, and then there's a very good chance he's sitting on the bench playing 20 minutes and
Yeah,
he's
fair
coming
enough.
up as your AE, which is a massive risk that I don't really want to take at this point in time. But yeah, no one really in this game that you should be trading in for this round. Let's talk betting. What sort of stood out to you in this game?
Yeah, so look, I want revenge for last week. I honestly think the Warriors do too. I firmly believe that it's going to be a lot of points in this game. The Warriors owe their fans something after what happened in the Gold Coast. They're going to bounce back and they're going to bounce back hard. And I'm getting on the double barrel names to score. So DWZ, RTS, CNK, AFB, CHT, and TMM. Anytime try score is at 1,300 to 1. It's going to happen and I will have my house deposit. Thank you.
I mean, this just sounds crazy to say, but I think that's a better bet than last week because at least they're all starting this week.
Look, if that's crazy, lock me up in an insane asylum. I'm speaking nothing but truth.
You should be locked up, honestly.
Hmm.
But no,
For
yeah,
what?
like
What are
it
you
is
applying to be locked up for, mate?
hate crimes. No, yeah, no, it's a better bet than last week because at least they're all starting DWZ back in the team. Uh, for mine, just looking at this one, I don't exactly know what either team's going to put out. You would think both teams are motivated after they've been a bit of a form slump. I think the Broncos have lost three in a row. Don't quote me on that, but they've lost a few in a row. And obviously the Warriors were just dreadful last week. But the Warriors back in New Zealand think they would be fired up for this one. So for mine, I'm just not betting on the game.
Yeah, fair enough. Completely understandable in that situation.
Uh, Next game of the round.
Game of the round indeed. 5:30 p.m. at McDonald Jones Stadium. The Knights take on the last placed Eels.
Yep.
So huge in for us. Will Price, in particular, we mentioned is finally playing first grade. Fletcher Sharp is the other one of note, playing his third game. He's getting an automatic price rise. He'll get the max value of probably getting around 120,000 for his dues. Is there anyone else other than those two that sticks out for you this game?
Yeah, I mean, Will Price is actually the second most traded in Knights player this round. I guess if you want to just quickly speak to the appeal, like I'm not looking at him this round, but if you want to speak to the appeal of him, um, he is a very attacking minded player. Pulled out a lot of try assists in Cup this year. So generally, he is probably a good target if he can keep the spot, but one to watch for a couple of weeks. Dylan Lucas has looked really good, but probably a bit priced out now at
Yeah,
633.
there's also no guarantee he plays 80 this week either. Like,
Yeah,
it's a very weird situation what's going on with the Knights forwards. It still hasn't been worked out properly, and we're, what, 17 games into the season? I'd probably hold on a little bit with that. One big thing about Will Price, though, I don't think he spoke on, is he may be goal kicking today. And if that's
yeah,
the case, I think he's a lock.
yeah, yeah. And just another thing to like about him, but I think it's you can happily wait
Yeah,
on Will
definitely. Just wait
Price.
and see what happens with him. Anyone else we should gobble about?
Yeah, I mean, like you're looking at traded out players. David Armstrong, highly traded out, makes sense. I'm trading him out. Blaze Talungi, highly traded out because of his price. I'm probably just going to have to hold him just because I don't have the depth in center wing, but I can definitely get around trading him out. But you're not going to be hurt too much. He scores like a 50 this round. He's only going to lose, 20, 30K, which isn't the end of
Yeah.
the world. Clipers Paul is another one that we should probably talk about, though. He's named on the bench. What would you be doing with Clive? Would you own Clive Paul still?
Yeah, I currently own him. For
Yeah.
me, my opinion on him, I think he may end up starting, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's some very big rumors and suggestions that for whatever reason, and Adam O'Brien loves doing this, is he'll just wait until the day of the game and then switch players around.
Yeah.
If I was to guess, if KPP is fully fit, I think he plays starting second row and he'll play upwards of 60 minutes. What is very likely to happen is Brazil instead plays through the middle, and like he has done every couple of games. But again, we don't really know until game day, which is really frustrating.
Yeah. And at the 540K, regardless, I think even if he does come off the bench, he'll still get okay minutes. I don't think he's worth a trade out at the 540K. I think next week at least he will be starting because he is coming back from that injury. So don't love it as a trade out, but it is a little bit annoying if we have to play him this week and he does come off the bench. But um, yeah, I guess we'll find out closer to game time
Indeed.
what's happening with him there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, obviously the obvious ones we've harped on about that we like to trade in and those couple that we like to trade out. Not too much else. Super coach relevant for this round at least. Let's talk betting. What do you like? And obviously, you've talked to your best bet of the round, but why do you like that bet in
Yeah.
particular?
Look, from what we've seen so far this season, as it turns out, debutants tend to score a lot of tries, and you've seen that. You can confirm that's happened. And then
Yeah,
so I think the Knights win, so I think their debutant scores, and they've also got a bloke who's never not scored a try during a game. So I reckon his streak continues, and that's 1475. So it's a cheeky flutter right there. But if KPP starts, I'm putting a second bet on, and that is for the Knights to win, KPP to score his first try ever, Will Price to score, and England to win both the Euros and the T20 World Cup. Because if KPP starts, that means it's coming home. And that's paying $768.03 to one.
that's the most heart bet I think I've ever heard.
It's
And you've
coming
got
home.
some seriously heart bets this season.
Now, one English mate will be very happy to hear.
Yeah,
If you're watching this, hello, Ellis.
it's definitely not watching this, but
Yeah, no one is. I could quite
um,
literally just start saying slurs and no one would notice.
oh, don't have to get
Probably
into
shouldn't
that.
do that.
Um, yeah, like in mine, for mine, I just don't have a bet in this game. Knights generally try not to bet on the Eels team is something I should be what you should be worried about. I think though, if everyone's fully fit and firing, I think they'll be a real threat. But I think this should be a cracker of a game. Honestly, it's very exciting to see how Will Price will go. Hopefully, this will be a high attacking game and a really good one to watch. Maybe one to get on if the weather's all right is the overs. Not sure
Definitely
what the
agree.
line is, but you would think Will Price adds more attack, and obviously this para team has a lot of attacking threats in there as well. Um, so yeah, probably not a bad shout. Maybe a back row running at Will Price as well is probably not a bad shout from the
Yeah, definitely.
Eels.
I assume he's going to be playing the left side.
I presume so, yes. Actually, I don't know. Actually, Hastings likes the left, so.
Yeah. Frogget, we'll find out on the day.
Yep. Um, the next game around is the Storm versus the Raiders. The Storm obviously in first looking good, and the Raiders got absolutely pumped. Well, not absolutely pumped, but lost the Tigers by quite a lot. Um, Firstly, Supercoach. There's a lot of Supercoach relevant players in this game. Is there anyone that you're sort of looking to target uh, in either team?
Yeah, look, so as it turns out, I had to trade a couple of players into my team last minute because I didn't realize how few I had. One of which was Ryan Pappenhausen, which I'm super disappointed in, given he scored like 40, even though he scored a try, which is so ridiculous. The only other player here that really piques my interest would be the Jerome Hughes. I think he looks good. He's obviously going to be playing through the next couple of rounds, regardless of origin, because he's a filthy Kiwi. See, did say something naughty then. Um, Other than that, no one really wets my whistle per se.
Yeah, obviously Jerome Hughes is pushed to 800k now. I wouldn't be super keen to jump on him at 800k. Obviously, I'm an owner, so I'm happy to have him considering the run of games they've got. They do have the round 19 bye, so I'm not a massive fan of trying to target Storm players at this point in time. Um, but yeah, like there's a lot of very good players in there. Pappenhausen with a bad score probably will start to drop to a point where people can really start to have a good look at him. I obviously brought him in on the weekend. Very frustrating to have Pappenhausen and not JC, but what can you do? Um, I've probably going to captain Jerome Hughes. One that people are looking at trading is Jack Howarth playing in
No.
the centers, I believe, or on the
Okay.
wing. He looks really good. Would you be keen to jump on him? Nick Meaney is out with a calf issue, so he'll probably be back. It's whether he takes Anderson's spot or Howarth's spot. What do you think of Howarth?
Um, Not too bad. Who'll be kicking for Melbourne now?
Maybe Hughes?
Uh, yeah, look, Meany
Can
hasn't been in
Pat
great.
kick?
Meany really hasn't been in great form either. To be honest, like I think we could find that Meany may not just come back from first grade. So if Howarth kicks on, then definitely do so. But I'd wait a couple rounds to find out. To be honest.
Yeah, it's just that his price will push. He's played 4 games already, so the longer you wait, the more his price is going to push.
Are you
Uh,
going to get
if you want
FOMO
to
or
take a
not?
if you want to take a risk, there's worse risks you can take. I think he looked good enough that he could win the spot on merit over
Yeah,
Anderson. They've got Remus Smith in the reserves, not playing in this one, so I think at least one of them will lock in a spot by the end of the year. And it could very well be Jack Howarth by the way that
yeah, definitely agree with that.
he played. So I don't hate it. I genuinely don't hate it.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, obviously the Storm are going to be good. So could be the guy for the run home. Some of these other trade-ins, not as big a fan of. Eli Katoa, like he's 700k. Like
too expensive now. He scores pretty consistently, but I
700k
swear,
is not too expensive, but he's like not an interesting trade-in at this point when they have around 19 bucks.
dude, I swear the only time he scores tries is the games I don't put money on him. It just has to be that way.
Yeah,
It's fucking ridiculous at this point.
nice. In terms of trade outs, people are jumping off Farlongo, which makes sense considering he's not going to be playing. He's probably maxed out in price. So yeah, pretty easy trade out. Morgan Smithies, I'm probably going to have to hold because I'm really short in the second row.
I'm
Uh,
surprised people still have him, to be honest. I sold him around 6.
yeah, like he's very, very average.
Yeah.
But just praying for
Peak,
like 50.
peak English tier.
Yeah. Um, like I don't think you need to trade him out. Like by all means can, but like he's just completely average. Um, yeah. So trade-ins don't mind a little Howarth. But
Might have been a Howarth on this plate.
yeah, but outside of that, don't love too much. Anything else that interests you in terms of Supercoach in this one?
Yeah, nothing to be honest. Not really a tickle other than that Jerome.
Cool. Let's talk betting in this game. What do you have?
Yep, so I have Storm at negative 19.5. I really think they can put some punishment on these Raiders. Then I've got Coates, Pap, Warbrick, and Hughes. Anytime try score is at 15.50.
Yeah, I'll have the Raiders line in this one, probably 15 and a half, I think it is. Ideally, it would be 17 and a half, but at least 15 and a half, I know you can get. So that'll be above me now if that's the best. Whatever the best line is will be above my head right now.
Fair enough.
Um, the Raiders off a big loss are going to be motivated to show up. I think the Raiders are the sort of team that do sort of show up hit and miss. So I think they'll be very, very fired up. Like Ricky will get them absolutely fired up for this game. It seemed like it's like the sort of game that Ricky would get them fired up for. But general betting logic says to bet on the team off a
That's,
loss, and Melbourne are off a win as well. And a win that they didn't look overly convincing in a Dolphins team that was a bit uh, pushed around. So like they obviously had Bostock out. So yeah, like I'm not super convinced that Melbourne will put them completely away in this one as well. And then on top of that, you got players like Harry Grant coming back um, off a Origin turnaround, and it's hard to know exactly how well he will perform in this one and if he'll have extended minutes either way because they're running Garlic on the bench. So yeah, happy to take the Raiders line in this one, especially a Raiders team that isn't Origin affected as well. So yeah, definitely all over the Raiders in this one.
okay, so side bet and potential here.
Yeah,
Ellie Katoa to score a try. Are you willing to participate in that?
like what? Just like
Head to
he
head, either he does or he doesn't.
happily, yeah.
I mean, I'm not betting on him to score, so he's going to score.
Okay, I'll say Ellie Katoa once.
Okay,
Um,
while we're doing that, let's move on to the next game of the round, which is the Dragons beat the Dolphins in, I think it's St. George, that's Strata Jubilee,
yep,
or is that the Wollongong Stadium?
it's Nestrata Jubilee. Right? That's the that's not the winners of Wollongong Stadium, right?
Close enough, anyway. Anyways, let's move on from
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Hogwarts.
We'll get back to that at some point. So, does anyone stick out to you for this game?
Supercoach wise, one that's interesting is Trade Fuller probably looking at trading him out. Have you? Oh, you're obviously doing
I've
that.
already traded him out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you wouldn't think about holding him for 19 as well?
Look, I really want to get my boy Sharp in the team. And unfortunately, the only way to do that would be at this stage to get rid of Fuller. So I'm just
Yeah.
biting the bullet, getting rid of him a week earlier than I wanted to.
Yeah, no, I'd be jumping off Fuller at this point. I don't think you need him, and Sharp is a really good option there. In terms of trade ins, people are looking at Jermaine Osako with the goal kicking in a strong Dolphins team. Does have a 73 break even, it's round 16 score of 76. Would you be thinking about Jermaine Osako at this point in time?
Yeah, I don't mind him at all, especially coming into the run in. Do the Dolphins have a round 19 bye?
No, they don't. They play all three major buy rounds, so there is that positive.
That is a huge positive, actually. So I think Osako, if you do have the money for him, would be a great pickup right now.
Yeah, Jermaine Osako interests me a lot as well. Might always convince myself to jump on Jermaine Osako with their run of games, and he just eye test looked really good on the weekend. Looks like he wants to do a lot and get involved for the Dolphins at the moment. The only thing is they do have the round 18 bye, so I don't think he's a player you necessarily need for this round, but maybe one to target for 19 um, when they're playing. But yeah, worst trade-ins you can make this round, definitely. Um, Other players highly trade in, like a lot of people are trading in Lomax and Hammer. Like they're both playing Origin. What's the
I
go? Why do
mean,
you think people are doing that when they're both playing Origin?
I think to be fair, we've kind of seen them play after Origin, so I think they're kind of expecting them to somehow do that again. Like
Yeah,
it's pretty rare that you'd have a player score 120 in back-to-back post-Origin matches.
Yeah.
But also, he is built different.
Yeah, I don't understand it, to be honest. I think you're running a major risk trying to trade in either of those two.
I
Um,
think it's more so there's just no other options, so that's why they're highly traded in comparison.
if there is other options, like there is other, like I would rather trade in Jermaine Osako than one of those two. Like I'd
Mm.
rather trade in, I don't know, there's players in other games that I'd rather trade in.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess. But in
but
this game, there's Sarko and that's it. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, no, I understand that, and they're good players generally, but like pick your time. This is not the time to be jumping on Zach Lomax or Amaso Tabuai-Fidow. If you wanted either of those two, it's for the run home, and you should be targeting them at that point in time. Outside of that, no one else really screams out at me. Is there anyone that sort of really grabs your
Well,
attention?
what about Pangai Jr. finally playing again? Like, how much is he paying? I believe
Uh,
this is his first game of the season.
Sam,
He's
he played on the weekend.
oh, did he play on the weekend? Yeah, he did. Never mind.
I think he,
Yeah, he could be a choice depending if he comes back to his previous form. I don't know if he will, to be honest, especially if he's only going to play off the bench.
yeah,
But he's someone I'm keeping an eye on.
off the bench for 34. Like, nothing interesting in that form line.
I mean, keep in mind that's his first game back this season. And he's been training boxing for the past year. So
Yeah,
for me, he's a watch and see.
yeah, definitely watch and see, but not someone to jump onto this one. Um, for yourself,
Hmm.
what do you like in terms of betting in this game?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just a bit nippy. It's got me really tired actually because it's so
Mm,
cold outside.
mm,
Bit of a snooze. Might have a bit of a hot chocolate and go to bed after this.
sounds
Um,
delightful.
anyway, so yeah, in regards to this match, I have Dragons and Lomax head to head. If I'm feeling a bit cocky on the day, I might upgrade that to a 13 plus. But I think Dragons win and probably win comfortably, so that's going to pay me 275.
Yeah, for mine, I kind of have the opposite opinion. This Dolphins team, a lot of the narrative around them is negative. Like people say the Dolphins can't win in Sydney. Like, well, they didn't win a game in Sydney all of last year. Like they've had, or they before, like they won recently in Sydney, I think, but before that game, or they haven't won a game in Sydney. Yeah, they've played one fucking season. Like, of course, they haven't won a game. Well, not of course, but like they haven't won a game in Sydney in one season. Like, you don't need to read that much into that.
Yeah.
Um, they play fine in Sydney. This Dolphins team is a lot better than previous years. As long as everyone's fit in this game, ready to go. I'm a big fan of the Dolphins team. A Dolphins team that people might think, oh, they lost on the weekend, so that they might not be as good, but they fought really hard to get to where they were with the injury of Bostock in that game, completely throwing out their backline. So as long as everyone stays fit in this game, I think the Dolphins will go a long way to win, and that's what I've got. I've got the Dolphins head to head in this one.
No, 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 no.
Side bet Dragons versus Dolphins head to head.
More than happy to be honest. In fact, I'm willing to go Dragons at a line of 6.5 if you want.
That's no, I'll take the head to head.
3.5.
The line is literally head to. We can take head to head.
Yeah, I just want to kind of prove a point. So,
We are taking head to head.
boo.
Next game of the round, Panthers versus the Cowboys. Uh, this is a sort of part of the season where the Panthers start to get back into their rhythm, sort of going into post Origin. Not obviously not quite post Origin yet, but it's sort of pushing on. I have a few players back in this one. Kenny and Cole, I think, are both back in this game.
Yep.
Anyone that sort of stands out to you, Supercoach wise, for this one?
Yeah, look, not really anyone of note, to be honest. I think we're at this period of the year where the only real exciting players are the ones that maybe have only 4 or 5 games under their belt at most. And unfortunately, there just isn't really don't really have many picks, even in this game, including the Panthers and the Cowboys. Is there anyone who picks that to you at all?
I mean, Bizarre has been tearing it up. I don't know that I would love trading him in just with the like during the Origin period, but he's a player that I really, really want for that run home. He's the highest traded in player for the Panthers in this game, so I can understand it, but I'm not willing to take the risk myself. Um, Isaiah Yo is also reasonably high traded in. Isaac
Mm,
Tungo. I can think of worse trade-ins at 433K.
433
Um,
is not too bad, but it seems like the attacks died up that edge pretty badly.
yeah. Do you think with Cleary back, Tungo becomes more of an option? What are your
Most
thoughts?
certainly. Once Cleary's back, even like Taruva, who I think is probably around the same price, or is
Truva,
he?
Truva's at 100K. Truva's 539. Tungo's 433.
I would rather Taruva, to be honest. Once Cleary does come back, I think either of those, they would be a lock at that point.
At the price, definitely way prefer Tongo at this point in time. And I can think of worse trade-ins for sure. Um, wasn't that long ago. Like people have very short memories. Beginning of the season, he was like the best center in the game. He was
Yeah, and
killing
the
it.
left side of the parents just wasn't getting any ball either.
Yeah,
It's
but
such a
like
really weird thing to say. Yeah.
he was absolutely killing it. So um, definitely one to keep an eye on, Isaac Tungo, and probably one you could think about if he's still cheap when Cleary's coming back, probably a trade in. The play you want is Ryan To'o with the tackle breaks, but you know could go far worse than Isaac Tungo if you can't afford that Ryan To'o. But yeah, I don't particularly like any trade-ins in this game with the sort of players you want to be targeting are Origin players, so that there is that. Um, People trading out Scotty Drink though, and some of these other Cowboys players being traded out. Would you be trading out Cowboys players at this point in time? They do have
Look,
a tough
if
run
you have
game.
any of these Cowboys players, like if you have a Scotty Drink, if you have a Val Holmes, even, I just think keep them till the end of the year. They'll come good eventually, especially towards the end of the season. So just hold, I reckon.
Scotty Drink, I would be very happy to trade out. I traded him out already at the beginning of the last round, but happy to trade him out considering they got Panthers in this one, then the Seagulls, then the bye. It's a shit run of a few
Yeah,
games.
that's going to be 4 points to them though, with the way the Eels are playing.
Seagulls won with the Seagulls won not obviously not on the weekend, but they had
Yeah,
no one in their team. But then the round before that, they had a decimated team and still won against the Dragons in that game. And the
it was a
Seagulls
fluke
will
win,
have for round
totally
eight.
fluke win.
Sorry,
It was a total fluke win. I just think you're kind of putting too much stocks on something that just occasionally happens from time to time.
but
They'll
round
return to the
18.
norm.
But are you what are you saying about the weekend then? Like the weekend, that was an instance that won't happen again because their
Yeah.
team's
And the
completely
week before that
decimated.
also was an instance that will happen again. They won by sheer fluke against the Dragons.
How can you say it's fluke? They won comfortably and they
Fluke.
had all these injuries. How is that a fluke? It's a fluke if they like random passes are stringing together and they win by like two or something.
Yeah, it's a fluke. Just happens time and time again, you know?
Okay.
Hmm. Someone
But
spiked their drink that morning. That's all I'm saying.
okay. But this Cowboys team will come up against the Seagulls team that have DCE back, Olakuwati back, Garrick back, and Tommy T back as well. So like
Yeah, no, actually, you do
where
actually
do you
have
think
a point here. I am will I'll stop messing with you here. You actually do have a genuine point, and I take that back. The Cowboys will probably lose next week.
yeah, this will be they'll be running into a Seagulls team that looks very good. And then yeah, just not a good runner game. So I'm happy to trade out Scotty Drink. I'm holding Val Holmes for mine just because he's got that goal kicking upside. So I'm happy to hold him and keep him for the rest of the season. Just not don't need to waste a trade on trading out Val Holmes. Um, Anything else that sort of stands out to you in this game, or should we just jump into betting?
Let's get straight back into the betting then. Have you got a bet on this one?
Yeah, for mine, I like the Panthers in this one. The 10.5 line does look tasty. Uh, One thing to consider though is we don't really know who the ins and outs are going to be. The Cowboys are generally the most affected team through Origin with all those Queenslanders that they have in that squad. Um, so yeah, it's probably one to wait and watch and see on game day if it stays at 10.5 and the Cowboys are missing. The Cowboys team looks similar to what it looks like now. I'll be all over that. But if there's uh, several Cowboys players in, then maybe we'll be less inclined to jump on the 10.5. But yeah, definitely like the Panthers in this one, considering they've got players in like Mitch Kennedy, Jack Cole that should shore up some positions in this team. What about yourself?
Yeah, so from what we've seen so far, Origin players tend to come back to club level and play really well. namely what we saw with the Dragons. I can see the exact same happening with the Panthers in this one. So I'm going Panthers 13 plus with Edwards and Bizza anytime try scorers at 550.
I mean, yeah, if that's your argument, then you should almost be on the Cowboys because they got half their team as Origin players. So if you think they're
Okay, I'll
Origin,
change that. Origin backs seem to perform well after the week. Origin forwards may as well just have not played.
pretty sure Val Holmes, Tommy Dearden are back. So anyway, yeah,
Don't be
maybe
thinking like that, lad.
maybe thought about it the wrong way, but got to the right conclusion that I think the Panthers are going to win this one. Um, the final game of the round is the Roosters versus the Tigers. This should be a good game to watch. Should be an exciting one. The Roosters obviously flying high at the moment, and the Tigers off two pretty impressive wins. In terms of Supercoach options, obviously there's some of these Tigers boys that had a big one.
Am I
Um,
reading that right? Satilli has been named at center.
yeah, it's because they've got a few outs. They've got Ponga,
Oh, is
the
that?
the
I mean,
second best Ponga.
Jennings has been named at 22, though.
Yeah, but he's a bit shit, isn't he?
Yeah, but you've got a guy who's barely able to play second row in reserve grade playing center for you now.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Mate, I don't have the answers for you. I'm not not a head coach, but it'll be interesting to see how Tilly does go at center there. Hopefully, because I do own Manu and Young, hopefully it means they target all their attack through
Yeah,
Manu and
time to go the other side, please.
yeah.
Pretty please.
But I guess we'll see. Um, this Tigers team obviously had the big scores on the weekend, so a lot of their players all of a sudden become super coach relevant. Api Coruscant flies into becoming the number one hooker by average. With 133 on the weekend, would you be looking at targeting him in, especially considering he isn't playing Origin?
Yeah, look, if you want a player and you want a player to play until the end of the year for you, Appy is definitely a great pick. Either way, is he 700k now?
637, so still a very affordable price. I think a great player to jump on if you do need someone in the hooker slot there. I currently hold him, so happy that I have him there.
You're happy you've got Appy?
Happy I've got Afi, yeah, very happy. Um, but like I've said all season, I'm not shifting from Appy and Grant. I've had them all season. Um, Samuela Finu, would you still looking at trading him in? He's hit 517k now. Dual second row forward, front row forward.
It's too late
And
for me, to be honest. I think he's going to do well for the rest of the year, but I don't think it's worth getting on him 500k.
yeah, I don't think you need him at all. But yeah, worst trade-ins. I don't hate it. I do own him, so can't really hate on that too much. Probably, yeah, tossing up actually whether to play him because I've got Fanil Blake, Terrell May, and Sammy Finu. So tossing up which two of those that I play this week.
Yeah.
Or might make another trade, flip Sammy Finu down to the second row and get rid of one of my bums like Morgan Smithies in the second row. The highest traded in player though in this game is Joey Manu. He's fallen to
Really?
677k. He's fallen to. Would you be looking at him for this week and moving forward?
Yeah, look, the way I see it, Joey Manu just, I don't know, to be honest. Like, if he doesn't pass it to Dom Young, he is going to have a very high score. If not, you never know. Like, I think for
But if he does,
670k,
he's gets tries. So
I think 670k is a very good price for Joey Manu. If you think the Roosters are going to continue on their performance, then I think he's definitely a picker.
yeah, I think he's definitely a top four center wing at the end of the season. I think it's the sort of trade you want to be making because you want to target players that you can hold for the end of the season. So I don't hate it. The only thing is he is very highly owned. So if you're trying to get a pod, he's not your guy. Um, so yeah, I don't love it that much, but he is one of the players you probably want to have in there as your sort of top four center wings. Outside of that, like Angus Crichton's decently traded in. I would be waiting on Angus Crichton, and then no one else sort of sort of screams out at a decent price. So um, anyone that you like the look of that much, Ruben Porter, 220 something K, -2 break even.
I just don't have the space for Ruben Porter. If I did, he'd be a decent pickup, but he's playing off the bench.
He's starting.
Sorry, no, sorry, he's only starting. Look, I don't know to be honest. He could be a decent pickup, but I'm not sure.
He scored 48 in the weekend and he scored 31. So I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
Like he scored no points in the one game that he was going to score points if it
yeah, but
was.
-2 break even. He could go off today.
He will go up, but he's not going to go up very much. And I'm not a fan.
Yeah, fair enough. I completely understandable. So is it time to talk betting in this one then,
Yeah, let's talk about gambling.
or our problem with it?
Yeah. What do you have in this one?
Yeah, so being the degenerate I am, I think the Roosters run away with this, even though the Tigers had a big, big game last week. I am going Roosters at a line of -19.5. Young and Crichton to score at 7.25.
Yeah. I don't agree with taking that big of a line, but I think yeah, I think the Roosters win. The Roosters look very solid recently, and I think they'll at the bare minimum find a way to get it done. I think a lot of people some people will be on the Tigers because they've been on a good run of a couple games, but I don't think you should be on as high on the Tigers as might be. But um, either way, Roosters 1 to 24 is my best bet of the round. I think the line is a touch long at 13.5. But I'd much rather take something safer in the Roosters 1 to 24. Might have to be Roosters 1 to 22. I'll have the best bet above my head, but whatever gets me around like $1.90. If I can get 1 to 24 at a better odds than $1.80, then I'll take that. But it'll be something around the 1 to 24, 1 to 22 that I
Fair
like.
enough.
Um, anything else from this round you want to touch on? Um, what are your sort of, do you have any sort of plans moving forward for Supercoach? What are you targeting? What are you
Yeah,
thinking about?
look, my Supercoach team, to be honest, is very much on vibes at the moment. It's running on fumes. I don't know what to do, and I may end up giving up Supercoach by the end of next week. So probably not the best person to speak to about that.
Well, we still do have the Supercoach finals. So for our comp, if you come top eight, you'll make the finals. So probably something to target there for yourself, trying to make that top eight at least. I know the top 5 or 6 is really tight. I think it's like there's like 3 or 4 of us on 20 points and a couple of
Yeah,
us on
I'm on 18, rather annoyingly.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things starting to really heat up. Just generally, I think everyone should be starting to look at more pod e plays. And I guess we'll touch on more pod sort of plays moving forward that we do like as the weeks push on. But for now, I still don't mind making sort of smarter plays like the Fletcher Sharp. But yeah, this is the point of the year where betting and Supercoach starts get really interesting. So keep tuning in, keep dropping comments, and we'll keep pushing on.
And as always, let's go fuck ourselves.